So people pleasers tend to suppress anger, resentment, sadness, or even joy because those emotions might make others feel uncomfortable. And it also, if you are the people pleaser, might make you feel uncomfortable.
Welcome to Talkin' Shit, the podcast where we get real about the unfiltered truths women face in the quest for perfection. I'm Jana, your host, a dietitian and fellow woman navigating the pressure to have it all together, the perfect body, career, relationships, and making it all look effortless. Who set that standard anyway? Here, we're calling out the diet fads, hustle culture, beauty standards, and everything else that keeps us feeling stuck. But we're not just venting, we're diving into how to break free and rewrite the rules on your terms. So grab a coffee or a glass of wine and let's talk some shit. Together, we'll uncover how to live a life that's unapologetically yours. This is Talkin' Shit. Let's dive in.
Welcome back to the podcast. Today, I want to talk to a very specific part of you, the part that says yes when you really mean no, and the part that keeps the peace, avoids conflict, and puts everyone else's needs before your own. I am talking to you, the people pleaser. Hi, my name's Jana, and I am a recovering people pleaser. And so many women that I work with are also recovering people pleasers. And the question is, Jana, you're a dietitian. Why are you talking about this? Well, as I continue to share with you through this podcast, I think you'll see why this is actually a really important part of your health equation. If you are looking to lose weight, if you're looking to maintain weight, if you're looking to feel your best, if you are a fellow people pleaser, then this is something that we really want to better understand about your personality and about what's going to work for you and what's not going to work for you. So I'm going to more specifically talk about why people pleasers often turn to food to cope. Because let's be honest, if you found yourself standing in front of the pantry after a long day, reaching for something sweet or salty, even though you're not physically hungry, you are not alone. And this isn't just about having more willpower or being more disciplined. There's actually something much deeper that's happening here. So I want to talk about it. Right? Like this is one of my favorite sayings. Let's talk about it. Let's tease through this because there's always so many layers when it comes to you and I learning how to care for ourselves best.
Hey friend, quick question before we dive into today's episode. Does dinner stress you out more than it should? Because if you're like most women I talk to, figuring out what to make every single night feels like another full-time job. So if you're tired of the daily what's for dinner stress, I've got something just for you. I've created the What's for Dinner guide with 50 quick, healthy, and blood sugar friendly recipes that are perfect whether you're cooking for yourself or your whole family. No more second guessing, no more last minute takeout, just real food made simple. Grab your copy for just $9, click the link in the show notes, and make dinner the easiest part of your day. All right. Now I'm back to the episode. But seriously, don't wait. Your weeknight sanity will thank you.
So I put together 10 signs that you might be a people pleaser. So I'm going to run through these 10 signs. And as I'm saying them, I want you to think like, do you do that? And if so, then lean in. Welcome. We are all people pleasers in some way. And it shows up in different ways for others as well. And the goal is really for you to identify how does it show up for you. So sign number one that you might be a people pleaser is you say yes when you want to say no. Even if you're tired, overwhelmed, or simply don't want to, you agree so that you can avoid the idea of disappointing others. Number two, you feel guilty for putting yourself first. Rest, alone time, or prioritizing your needs makes you feel selfish. Number three, you avoid conflict at all costs. You'd rather stay quiet or go along with something than risk confrontation or making someone else uncomfortable. Four, you struggle to set or stick to boundaries. And when you do, you feel anxious or you're second guessing yourself. Number five, you constantly seek approval or validation from others. You feel very uneasy when someone is upset with you or doesn't like your choices. All right, is this resonating with anyone so far? I know I definitely resonate with this. Number 6, you take responsibility for how others feel. You try to fix, soothe, or manage other people's emotions, even when it's not your job. Number 7, you downplay your own needs or desires. You tell yourself, oh, it's not a big deal, or, oh, I'll be fine, while pushing your needs to the background. Number 8, you feel resentful, but you stay silent. Over time, all the giving leaves you drained and frustrated that no one seems to notice and or reciprocate. Number 9, you're afraid of being seen as difficult or selfish. You try to be the easy one, the nice one, the one who doesn't cause any trouble. And number 10, you use food, overworking, or busyness to cope because you rarely give yourself permission to rest, feel, or just be. Okay, I'm going to let that sit for a little bit. If there is any one of them that really stands out to you, I want you to think about like how this shows up for you being able to take care of yourself and your own needs. And then we're going to more specifically talk about how this is connected to that food aspect. So people pleasers are often the caregiver, the peacemaker, the one who shows up and holds it all together. But in doing so, they often abandon their own emotional needs. When you're constantly trying to anticipate other people's expectations, manage their emotions, and trying to avoid conflict, it's very easy to lose sight of what you need, what you feel, and even who you are. And because expressing these needs may feel selfish or scary or unfamiliar, you find a safe way to go. This is where food enters the equation. So food is really accessible. It doesn't judge. It doesn't demand anything in return, but it does numb, distract, and it soothes us for that moment. It gives you a sense of control. So here's what often happens in the mind of a people pleaser. You often say, I can't say no, but I can eat. Or I don't have time for myself, but this snack is my moment. Or I can't cry or yell or speak up, but I can soothe that discomfort with something comforting. The truth is, food becomes the stand-in for boundaries. And when you can't say what you really feel or ask for what you need, food becomes that outlet. So people pleasers tend to suppress anger, resentment, sadness, or even joy because those emotions might make others feel uncomfortable. And it also, if you are the people pleaser, it might make you feel uncomfortable. But the emotions are energy. And when they have nowhere to go, they don't just disappear. They actually just end up being stuffed down, sometimes with chips, sometimes with cookies, sometimes with an extra helping of something that feels safe and familiar. You know it's going to do the job. But the relief is really only temporary. And the feelings, they always find a way to resurface, usually in the form of guilt, shame, or maybe even more emotional eating. So here's what I want you to hear today. You're not broken, but you are coping. Food isn't the enemy. It's just become a messenger, a signal that says something needs attention. When you eat emotionally, it often is because you're trying to meet a need, right? So I have a saying that food is part of the equation, but it's not the entirety of the equation. And a lot of individuals use food as a way to cope, as a way to have an outlet, and as a way to soothe. But there are many other ways that we can bring that into your routine that have nothing to do with food. So we try to meet that need, whether it be comfort or rest or recognition, space, freedom, love, and food gives the illusion of those things very temporarily, but it can't truly replace them. So you can never feel like you are getting enough. And that's where a lot of individuals will say, I feel addicted to food because it's not actually giving you what you truly need. So, first, if this is really resonating with you, I want to just offer you some compassion, not judgment. We want to really understand what's going on because until we have that awareness and that understanding, we can't make any shifts or any changes. You learn to people please for a reason. So, first is a lot of compassion. I am right there with you on this one. I had to do a lot of work in the area of my people pleaser and my perfectionist. Second, start asking yourself better questions like, what am I really hungry for right now? Or whose needs am I prioritizing in this moment? Or maybe what emotion am I avoiding or suppressing? And I want to remind you that it's not just negative emotions, right? We also have positive emotions that might feel very overwhelming. So when we're looking at emotions, they are negative emotions, neutral emotions, and positive emotions. Third, practice tiny acts of self-honoring. That could be saying no because you really don't want to do the thing. It could be setting a boundary, like really going to bed at 10 p.m. It could be taking 5 minutes alone because you just need a deep breath and to maybe get away from your kids for a second. Or just pausing before turning to food and asking yourself, what would feel really supportive right now? So here are my final thoughts on this topic. People pleasing is a survival strategy, but it's not your destiny. You're allowed to shift the narrative, to feel deeply, to speak your needs, and yes, to nourish yourself in ways that don't come from the pantry. Food can still be joyful. It should be joyful. It should be fun, but it doesn't need to carry the emotional load that your heart may be holding. You don't need to earn your rest. You don't need to numb your feelings. You just need support, tools, and the reminder that you matter too. So thanks for tuning in today. If this resonated with you, I'd love for you to share it with a fellow people pleaser in your life. And as always, I'm here to help you find freedom with food and peace within. Until next time, continue talking shit.